I'm Liz Hamilton. I'm the intellectual property specialist at Northwestern in Chicago, and I'm going to be reading From Bridge to Terabithia. I read it in 6th grade, and it's one of my favorite books. How many you guys gonna run? Gary Fulcher demanded. Me, everyone yelled. That's too many. No first, second, or third graders, except maybe the Butcher cousins and Timmy Vaughn. The rest of you will just be in the way. Shoulders sagged, but the little boys backed away obediently. Okay, that leaves 26, 27, stand still. 28. You get 28, Greg? Fulcher asked Greg Williams, his shadow. Right, 28. Okay, now, we'll have eliminations like always. Count off by 4s, then we'll run all the 1s together, then the 2s. We know. Everyone was impatient with Gary, who was trying for all the world to sound like this year's Wayne Pettis. Just was a 4, which suited him well enough. He was impatient to run, but he really didn't mind having a chance to see how the others were doing since spring. Fulcher was a 1, of course, having started everything with himself. Just grinned at Fulcher's back and stuck his hands into the pockets of his corduroys, wriggling his right forefinger through the hole. Gary won the first heat easily and had plenty of breath left to boss the organizing of the second. A few of the younger boys drifted off to play King of the Mountain on the slope between the upper and lower fields. Out of the corner of his eye, just saw someone coming down from the upper field. He turned his back and pretended to concentrate on Fulcher's high-pitched commands. Hi. Leslie Burke had come up beside him. He shifted slightly away. Umph. Aren't you running? Later. Maybe if he didn't look at her, she would go back to the upper field where she belonged. Gary told Earl Watson to bang the start. Just watched. Nobody with much speed in that crowd. He kept his eyes on the shirt tails and bent backs. A fight broke out at the finish line between Jimmy Mitchell and Clyde Deal. Everyone rushed to see. Just was aware that Leslie Burke stayed at his elbow, but he was careful not to look her way. Clyde, Gary Fulcher made his declaration. It was Clyde. It was a tie, Fulcher, a 4th grader protested. I was standing right here. Clyde Deal. Jimmy Mitchell's jaw was set. I won, Fulcher. You couldn't even see from way back there. It was Deal. Gary ignored the protests. We're wasting time. All threes line up, right now. Jimmy's fists went up. Ain't fair, Fulcher. Gary turned his back and headed for the starting line. I'll let them both run in the finals. What's it gonna hurt? Just said loudly. Gary stopped walking and wheeled to face him. Fulcher first glared at Just, and then at Leslie Burke. Next thing, he said, his voice dripping with sarcasm. Next thing, you're gonna wanna let some girl run. Just's face went hot. Sure, he said recklessly. Why not? He deliberately turned toward Leslie. Wanna run? He asked. Sure, she was grinning. Why not? You ain't scared to let a girl race you, are you, Fulcher? For a minute, he thought Gary was going to sock him, and he stiffened. He mustn't let Fulcher suspect that he was scared of a little belt in the mouth. But instead, Gary broke into a trot and started bossing the 3s into line for their heat. You can run with the 4s, Leslie. He said it loudly enough to make sure Fulcher could hear him, and then concentrated on the runners. See, he told himself, you can stand up to a creep like Fulcher. No sweat. Bobby Miller won the 3s easily.